for the awareness webinar on Home Sweet Home, a construction encyclopedia, which is organized by SANATHANA Mysuru in association with BHAMYS Foundation. Prayer is a process of talking to God in order to achieve a purpose. So let us begin this webinar by seeking the blessing of Lord Almighty. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Now I request Dr. Ramachandra CG, the Managing Trustee of SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA, to welcome and introduce the speaker of today's webinar. I also request him to welcome the guests and the participants.
Good evening, one and all. So I take this opportunity on behalf of SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA, Mysuru, to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad M D, and officials from Rotary Club and BHAMYS Group of Company, and Sri Lokesh CG President, and Dr. Shantarajaras and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, the Board of Trustees, SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA, and all the participants. So let me introduce today's speaker, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad M D. So let me introduce Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, speaker. So starting from his education qualification, so he has completed his Bachelor of Engineering from Civil Engineering from PS College of Engineering, Mandya, which was under Mysuru University in the year 1998, and he has completed his MTech in Industrial Structures from Sri Jayachamrajendra College of Engineering, Mysuru, which is well knownly called as JCE, in the year 2001, and he has completed the PhD, the Doctor of Philosophy in Structural Engineering from Vishwesvaraya Technological University, Belagavi, in the year 2017, and he is having a lot of industrial experience too. Starting with, he has worked as a Managing Director, RPV Engineering Consultants Private Limited from 2002 till date, and Managing Director, BHAMYS Construction Private Limited from 2010 to till date, Managing Director, SIMAB Valuation Consultants Private Limited from 2015 to till date, and Managing Director, Softness IT Management Services Private Limited from 2015 till date, and he is having academic experience too. He has worked as an assistant professor in civil engineering from GSS GSS Institute of Engineering and Technology for Women, which is the first women's engineering college set up in Karnataka, which is situated in Mysuru only, from 2006 to 2012, and is a research guide for MTech for VVIT Mysuru from 2017 to 2018, and as well as the MTech guide, research guide for SJC Mysuru from 2015 and 2016. And coming to his affiliations, is a member Board of Studies, Department of Construction Technology and Management in JSS Science and Technology University, Mysuru, and is also a member Industry Academia Board, Department of Civil Engineering, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, and he past president, Rotary means Business Fellowship, Mysuru chapter 2018 to 2019, and he is chairman Technical Committee, National Real Estate Development Council, NAREDCO, Mysuru chapter, and is a member Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, ACCE, member of Institution of Valuers, and is a president of Rotary Mysuru West for the year 2020-21. And let me summarize this today's speaker's Dr. Raghavendra Prasad M D brings in outstanding achievements and experience in civil and structural engineering fields, holding key positions in the private sector. He has provided technical and management leadership expertise in conceptualizing strategies and synchronizing numerous work projects across the country. He pursued his passion for teaching by mentoring students at GASSS Institute of Engineering and Technology for Women, Mysuru, as assistant professor, and his consolidated work experience encompasses business development, planning, piloting, designing, construction, and commissioning of industrial projects across in India. So this is a brief introduction about today's speaker, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad MD. And coming to today's topic, the Home Sweet Home, a construction encyclopedia. So all of us, we have our own dream to construct a house. So a home which becomes sweet. Okay, then still we can call it a sweet home or home sweet home. So today we are having a right person on platform. So as who is having a vast experience in especially in construction field. So this way, construction encyclopedia, the title which has been given. So with this basic introduction, I wish all the participants will have a fruitful interaction with the speaker. Once again, I thank you and all. So over to you, Shashank.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Raghavendra Prasad MD, Managing Director, BHAMYS Group of Companies, Mysuru, to start the session.
So I think he's having some network issues. Visible.
Is it visible, Ramachandra?
Visible. You can start. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So once again, good evening, everyone. So it's a pleasure. First of all, let me thank Ramachandra for giving an opportunity to share my views today. So coming on to the topic for the day, Home Sweet Home, a construction encyclopedia. See, why we call Home Sweet Home a construction encyclopedia is, see, there is a lot of materials which we actually see in the civil engineering, lot of options and lot of materials which is used in it. So if you just go through a house in detail and the options available for it, maybe in type of construction or the material used to beautify your house or the other technology what we use, that's why it is called as construction encyclopedia. Even in projects, the quantification may be more, but in a house, the options which is available, if you just go through, if a client just start to go through what are the different options, he will end up reading an encyclopedia. That's why today's topic for the day, we have kept it as Home Sweet Home, a construction encyclopedia. So before starting a home, so today I've just taken, see, as for today, in today's session, I can't cover the entire thing for the day, but let me give you a small bits and pieces. So today I'm just taking around 5 to 6 options which you generally look into in a house and see what is the tremendous amount of options which is available. So this talk is based, no, it is not purely technical. Let me put it in a very generalistic way, where we just gives, I'm trying to just give you a glimpse of an idea. Whenever you're going to construction the house, first we'll start up with what are the different points or the important points you have to go through it. So coming on to the first slide. Coming on to the first slide. So before starting a house, Let me just give you options of how many persons or technical persons will be involved. So to start with, a planning engineer, an architect will be involved. So once for your to dream your thoughts and put it on paper in black and white, so that the entire planning is done by either by an architect or by a planning civil engineer. So once your plan is ready, just to put in what is the amount of columns you need to be there, what type of structure you want, and what type of design you are going it. A structural engineer will pitch in and give you the column sizes, the beam sizes, and what is the amount of steel which is coming to it, and how much strength it has to be there. And he looks for what is the soil condition of, in the site, and he decides about the foundation. The entire structural work or skeleton work, once the planning is done, the entire skeleton work will be given by a structural engineer. Likewise, the electrical engineer will design about the electrical features in your house. Then the plumbing and sanitary engineer, technical person will decide about how that your plumbing system should be there, what type of plumbing system should come in. Likewise, HVAC will pitch in. HVAC is nothing but your heating, ventilation and air conditioning. Then you have a landscaping consultant. Nowadays, for any building to look good, probably the greenery has to pitch in finally. So likewise, landscape is there, hardscape is there. Then interior designer will come and design about your interiors, how the furniture has to be, how your screens has to be. Like that, lot of consultant, and more importantly, especially in a house, even any clients which is coming and planning, either architect or a planning engineer decides about your plan. Finally, it would be most of the people will get it vetted with a master consultant and much more. So these are the different technical persons who will be coming inside in a project and working towards a successful thing. Next steps to follow, as I told, because in our experience, the most common mistake the people do is, sir, I want to build a house. The flooring is, for example, the flooring may be granite, the wood is a teak or this thing. What is the cost? See, that's why even in my office, when anybody comes and says, so what is the cost? I will tell you, first decide about what is the specification, because your entire costing depends on what is the specification you are looking into. For example, if you just walk into any, for example, store, for example, if you want to buy a cloth, so before looking into it, the designs or the quality of it, if you just ask, sir, can I get a product for this? No, it's not correct. First, you decide about your planning, then you have to go for a costing. So that's why I've just noted as some of the key points here. As I told, know your requirements, the very, very first thing. So before entering into any architect or a consulting office, the first thing is you decide on your requirement. Either you want a 2 BHK house, either you want a 3 BHK house. Be at least clear on your requirements, because requirements cannot be given by a consultant. Requirement has to be from your side. You should be very clear. Yes, I may need a gym room or like this. I don't need a gym room. I just need 2 BHK or a 3 BHK. Please decide on your requirement before walking in or discussing with any consultant. And once you, and very importantly, decide on your budget. So, see, in our almost 20 years of experience, I have seen that anybody who is building a house, he may be building the house for around a crore or a small house. Anybody or 5 crore, 10 crore, any amount of budget they are capable of. It is always seen that they will overshoot the budget at least by 25 to 30%, or in an average around 30%. That's why we always say, if you can spend around 100 rupees, please plan it for 70 to 75 rupees, because at the end, definitely it is always a tendency, especially the Indian mentality, tendency that we may overshoot our budget by 25 to 30%. Always sure about it. Next, identify architect or engineer. This is always, it's a professional way to walk into an architect or a planning engineer and give your thoughts to him. Let him use in experience. put it everything into it. So as I told, don't worry about in the previous slides I told that how many professionals will be working on a home. It's not like that you need to go around 10 to 15 consultant and get your home. It's not like that. I told technically it will be like that, but once you walk into an architect or a consulting, they will take care. They will have their own team. They will have their own team, and they will have their own team. So they once the plan is ready by architect, they're following the structure, the electrical, then the plumbing engineer, all other things get in place into it. Then very important thing is visualize all your imaginations on paper or digital, even under iteration. So we have, I keep telling to my clients whenever I walk in, see, you just start with a scratch. Because you can't see around 5, sir, it's not correct actually. Start with one plan and try to do iterations over that, because even the consultant who is designing a house should get a sense of requirement from your side. Because see, whatever we professional design for you, it is not from our perspective. We take your ideas and put it in a professional way. That is the job of any architect or engineer. We can't impose our thoughts into it. We just give you, we will take out your dream of what kind of house. See, somebody may be liking a traditional type, somebody it may be a contemporary type. So we take your requirements, we take your thoughts and dream of your house and put it in a technical way. Yes, definitely we'll be telling about what is correct, what may be a problematic in the future things. Based on that, you get it on a paper and start iterating it, because whatever you do on paper, it's okay. But once you start on site, or if on site construction is there, then you start changing it. There are one is you will end up with losing your first money, then time, and more importantly, we Indians are emotionally very connected to two things. One is your marriage and one is your house. Because Allah ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡು ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ನೋಡು ಅಂತ. So these are the two important points in our this thing. So once you break it, I have seen people that they get so emotionally attached that we started the house, then we start breaking it. So please don't, once you finalize your plan on paper, never change it on site, because it will have a financial implication. That's why we told visual, all imaginations are on paper digitally, even 100 times it's okay. You can start, but once you are 100% sure, then you hit the ground. And also there are zonal authority regulations based what are the amount of setback you need to live. That depends from authority to authority. Either you are building in Mysuru or Bangalore, so there will be some regulations. You should know what is the regulations you have to live and build according to the regulations. See, then once your plan is, everything is ready, along with bill of material. Bill of materials is what kind of flooring you are going, what kind of wire you are going, everything. Once the specification, bill of materials is you are fixing the specification to it. So once your plan is ready, your specification is fixed, then you can ask for costing. Then only go for costing, because that will give you a correct costing. Otherwise, you will end up in a wrong estimate. It can be much more. So if you don't specify, then you start changing, because as I told, construction, especially construction with today's material technology, you have much more options. You can spend as much as you want. We will discuss in later stage. Just to glimpse why I am asking is why you need to be specific on the specification is, then only you will get a correct costing. Because vitrified flooring, you can do it from 100 rupees. Otherwise, if you want to go do with a Italian marble, it may cost you 500 rupees. You can see the difference per square feet. So there will be a huge difference. So fix your specification, then only you go for costing. So as I was telling, home sweet home, a construction encyclopedia. So in this, I just taken around 5 to 6 points to tell about the different types, especially the major points where you have a different options of constructing your house. The first thing is, let us go with the first thing is base building. What is a base building? See, we call it as a base building. It's once the structure you are ready, the structure is called as a base building, and all other interiors we call it as interior fit out works. So coming on to the base building, here you have multiple options. The one is called as your masonry buildings. Masonry is you use your bricks, stones, or like that as a masonry, and that will be your supporting structure. You build a building with that. That is called as a masonry building. The other one is your RCC building, that is reinforced concrete structures, and other thing is your steel building. So coming on to your masonry building, as I told, we use the brick to build the walls, and the slabs, everything will be supported on the walls. This is called as a masonry buildings. Look at the option. See, there are multiple options available depending upon your choice, your taste, and what kind of finishes you require, and also the budget what you put in over there. See, the first thing is your stove buildings, especially in previous years. Almost you should have. We were seeing a lot of stone buildings. Nowadays, the stone building, the stone masonry has been very, very limited because of the cost factor. Because even the metal is costlier, as well as more than a material, the labor is very costly. So you can use a stone as your masonry, or you can use your red bricks. We usually regularly what we use, the 9 inches brick wall. So 9 inches brick, you can use it. So that will be your brick masonry. The other thing is your soil bricks. See, this soil bricks is nothing but we make this brick because stone is brought from outside from a quarry and use it. Brick is done in a kiln and you bring it using a vendor. Whereas your soil bricks, if you have a good soil, you use a very small amount of cement to it, and you can make your own bricks at site. So this is called as your soil bricks. Or porotharam blocks. Porotharam blocks is a hollow one. Especially it will have a very good thermal insulation. Either heat or cold will not enter so easily because you have a vacuum air entrapped into it. So that is your porotharam blocks. Now, especially even the brick, as I told, stone is a natural material. Even for bricks, you have to get into a good soil needs to be available. So that's why most of the construction for a faster constructions, we have shifted to the concrete blocks. Even in concrete, you will have a hollow concrete block, or you can also have a solid concrete blocks. Especially in Mangalore region, we get another natural available material, which is called as laterite, which is mined from the soil, so which can be used as a construction material. Next, you have if your requirement is about having a exposed masonry, because if in the second option, as I told, red brick, we do the masonry works, then we plaster it up. Whereas in a wire cut brick, this is also done in the same fashion, but the finish is good compared to your red brick, where we don't plaster it and leave it naked as like a stone. So this is called as wire cut option. So here, depending upon, you can sit with your planning engineer and give your taste. That's why I told you, you should have a taste. See, depending on your taste, somebody may like stone, or somebody may like porotharam, or somebody requirement with wire cut. So depending upon your design, you can decide what kind of masonry you want. There's even in the second type, as I was telling, RCC building, here also the RCC building is nothing but it is called as reinforced concrete framed building, where the slab is supported by beam and the beam is supported by columns. The load transfer from the slab is gone to the beams, the horizontal one, and from beams to columns, and from columns to your floor. So this is your frame building. And the third type of building, which is nowadays become very popular, is your steel buildings. Still, it is not pierced into the home segment, but it has made into a commercial set. Earlier, we were using the steel buildings only for industrial purposes. Now, slowly it is coming into the commercial segment. In a days come, we may have the steel buildings much more, because it is very faster in construction, basically. Next, the option is, as I was telling, after your masonry or walls, exterior walls, let us just quickly go through what are the different types of flooring which is available. So the first one may be your cement flooring. See, earlier days, you have seen a lot of cement floorings, especially nowadays, it's very difficult to do because of two things. The major thing is the cement availability, because not availability, the type of cement. See, earlier days, we were getting 33 grade of cement. 33 grade, nowadays it is 53. Let's just explain what is 33 and 53. So your 33 grade, your 53 grade is much finer to your 33 grade. So once the metal becomes much finer, the heat, it sets more. because your 33 grades earlier cement, you have heard that whenever you put a RCC, you should live 21 days. Then only you have to ream the support, otherwise it will fall down. Because that was true at that time. Because the strength achieved by the cement concrete, it was due to the cement, setting of cement, and that was taking around 21 days. Nowadays, with the use of 53 more finer cement, the concrete attained its strength in a very early stage. Now we remove the slab between 7 to 10 days. Even 8 to 10 days, you can remove the slab shuttering. So here what happens is, as there is a heat of hydration, so it is difficult to do it what they're doing it manually. But still, you can nowadays also there are some technology where you can really do a good cement flooring. Even the material technology and the construction technology has improved a lot. Using some VDF machinery, we call vacuum dewatering flooring, we can do a good cement flooring. And with colors also. Nowadays, earlier it was only red. Now you can do multi colored cement flooring. And the second option is almost obsolete now. We are going for a mosaic thing. Coming on to another options is your ceramic floor. You can have a ceramic flooring. You can have a vitrified flooring, and you can have a granite flooring, marble flooring, Italian, wooden, your engineering wood, much more. It all depends on the cost and the look what you're looking into it. Basically, it is about cost. So I think initially when I was trying to explain about the costing, I was telling that the vitrified may start from, you'll get a vitrified tile for 50 to 100 rupees. Even if you take around a much higher grade of 75 rupees, I think you can complete it by 100, 150 rupees, your flooring would be completed. But if you take Italian marble, the initial range will be around 300 to 350. Then the laying is also will cost you somewhere around 100 to 120. You may end up around 450 to 500. It's almost the minimum difference between your vitrified and your Italian marble, maybe around 4 times initially. And we have seen that you can, if you have a taste and the willingness to spend, there are Italian marbles which is available almost up to 10,000 rupees per square feet. I will repeat, 10,000 rupees per square feet. So that's why whenever there is a houses and a person is able to spend, he will be telling that we have spent around 10 crores, 15 crores, 20 crores houses. These are the materials which is going to it. So that depending upon your financial capabilities and your taste, what kind of finishes you require, there are options available. So flooring is very important part in it, and which also eats up a lot of share in your budget. Next, coming on to your electrical works. See, nowadays, electrical, if you see in the figure, the top figure, what you are seeing, those are the manual switches which you are using. Now, as I think the word smart has pierced into everything, they're smart, they call it as a smart homes. So smart homes is, so you'll have a smart switches. The second figure, what you're saying is about smart switches. So there are, based on, especially based on your requirement. For example, I want to control my entire house using my mobile. You can do it, sitting anywhere in the world. You can switch on the lights, switch off the lights. Then you can control. You can have you can see your CCTV images, who is going ahead. Then you can have an anti-burglary system. For example, if you're out and if you have a smart systems available, so you can integrate your burglar alarm, so that if anybody enters your house or anybody tries to open the key of your house, you will get a message if somebody is trying to open your house. So these are options are available, but don't try to do it everything over it, because based on your requirement, you need a anti-burglary system, you can do it, where you will get a message if somebody is entering into it. If your requirement is about switching, for example, the garage doors. So garage doors can be operated by a mobile. So don't need to call anybody. If you just come home and just press one button from your mobile, so you will get an entry into a house. So based on your requirements, there are different options and different technologies which has come into it, and you have a solution for all your requirements. Basically, I was trying that you have a solution. So we will sit with your electrical consultant and you can decide that. That's why I told you electrical consultant is also important, especially when you come to your smart switches. Earlier in houses, as normal electrician would have done it. If you just go for the above one, it is just a simple wires because the load will be not much and everybody were knowing it. So, but when you go for a smart switches, you need a technical person who can guide you which one you need to go. Even if you go for a automation switches, you have multiple or types of automations. So you need to sit with your consultant and try to evolve a method which is suitable for you and suitable for your needs. And coming on to your UPS, the fourth point, UPS online or offline. See, nowadays UPS is a must, but now, and it will be there for each and every house. But there are some systems which requires online UPS because, for example, if you go for a high-end system in your house, like your automation switches, or it may be your home theaters where you will be the projectors, where the projector itself will cost you around between 3 to 6 lakhs rupees, depending upon your budget. So those things is the first question what the home theater guy will ask, sir, we need an online UPS. Otherwise, your chances of corrupting your system may be more. So that's why, based on your requirements, you can choose different types of options from here. Next, here I will be trying to explain you about the other very important part of your house, that is your plumbing and sanitary works. Because see, in a house there are very two important parts. The first being your kitchen and the second is your bathrooms, because those are the two areas which is functionally should be very efficient. And also most part of your costing which will go to your toilet part, because if you just try to convert the amount of budget or amount of rupees you'll be spending on that square feet, because roughly generally a toilet may be around somewhere around 50 square feet. A generally decent average bathroom will be around 50 square feet maximum. So, but you will be spending much huge on your bathrooms, because that is the most important functional area. So here we'll be discussing about what are the different types. If you just see the top three figures, the first figure is called as wall mixers, the second is called single lever diverter, and the third one is your thermostat diverter. So what is a wall mixer? Because everybody have used it. See, in a wall mixer is you have a hot water, you have a cold water. So on both sides, if you adjust both the knobs, so you can get a decent water for your bathing. So in the middle switch, what it can be your spout or it can be your shower. And in the same way, as people were asking, so I can't operate to 2, 3. What is the solution? Next solution came was single lever diverter. The wall mixer has been replaced by single lever diverter, as the name suggests, single lever. So you don't have to operate 3 knobs. Just with one knob, you can operate either hot or cold. So that is called a single lever diverter. See, both these options, what was happening, I think you have observed whenever you are using your wall mixer or your single lever diverter, see, suddenly there will be hot water coming in or suddenly there will be cold water. I think most of you have been experienced. So to avoid this, there was a problem posed. See, this is a case. Suddenly I would have set the temperature to my need. But what happens is suddenly that temperature changes. It may be too hot and it may be too cold. So what is an option for it? Definitely an option. So nowadays you are getting a thermostat diverter. The third figure, what you are seeing over where you have 3 knobs. See, the thermostat diverter is one where once you set the temperature, see, usually what may be the standard temperature, we usually set it around 38 degrees, 38 to 40 degrees, that's all. So if you just set your temperature, it goes up to 50 degrees also. So if you just change your temperature to 38 or 40 and freeze it, so during your entire course of your bathing, the temperature will not change. It would be the same. But once again, the costing comes to play. So that may be a requirement. Yes, everybody, yeah, I may be going. But now you have to choose with your costing. For example, if you go for your wall mixer, generally, if you just take a I will be speaking with Jaguar brand only, or standard brand, Jaguar or Gruhe. So general costing of a wall mixer may be around 3 to 4,000 rupees. But if you go to your diverter will cost you around 5 to 7,000 rupees, depending upon the designs basically. But if you go to your thermostat diverter will cost you between 25 to 70,000. So depending upon your costing also, you can choose which one you want. Likewise, if you just the other important part, that is your shower. The first figure what you are seeing is your single flow shower. So single flow shower is, so whenever is there a shower, you will get only one type of flow from the shower. That is called your single flow shower. As the name suggests, the other part of the next thing is your multi-flow showers. So if you just change your knob with there will be a switch or a knob. If you just turn it, what happens is you can get around 4 to 5 types of flow. It can be your rain flow, or it can be the concentrated flow. Like around 4 to 5 flows are there. So as I was telling, the word smart has peeped into each and everything. So now we will get a smart shower also, the third figure, what you can see over there. So you can get up to around 20 to 24 types of water falling from your showers. It can be just, if you can get a shower where it resembles just like a waterfall. So if you just go and stand below a waterfall, what is the effect you are getting? You can also get that effect. So as I was telling, you can get up to 24 types of or more than that now, because as the technology increases day by day, you can have multiple types of water flows from your shower. So once again, yes, it's good, but once again the costing comes into play. You have to choose from your budget how best you can spend over it, because a normal shower, a single floor shower may cost you around 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. A multi shower maybe a double of it, around 3 to 4,000 rupees or 3 to 8,000. Whereas your smart showers, you can get a shower more than around, you can spend around 12 to 15 lakhs only for the shower, nothing else. So depending upon your taste, your budget, your capacity to spend, you can have an option. And also the body jets, because earlier days, I think around 30, 40 years, having a bathtub was a luxury in a toilet. But as days progressed, they felt that just filling the water, going, sitting over there, it's not I'm not feeling that good. So then they came that the word called as jacuzzi. So your jacuzzi and your bathtubs is almost same. Only thing is jacuzzis will have the pressure waters coming from the nozzles fitted inside your bathtubs. That is your jacuzzis. See, in both, I think 10 years back, the jacuzzis was a very hot favorite in our houses. But what happened is, see, depending based on our usage and also the type of usage what we are getting in, people started to feel that neither bathtub nor your jacuzzis are really worthwhile in keeping it, because usually what happens, even we have taken a survey with our customers who have used this, they will be telling, so we don't have a time to sit over there, or ultimately during the regular usage, it has become just a place to throw our soiled clothes. So just to overcome that, because in a jacuzzi, what you really love is the pressure jets which is coming out of it. Just to have it, you can, rather than having a jacuzzi, the best part is you can have your body jets in place, especially in the bathing area. In the last figure, what you're seeing is there, you can have a pressurized water coming out from different points. You can have 4 body jets, 6 body jets, or 8 body jets, even 10 body jets, depending upon the size of bathroom what you're having and type of force you require it. Those things are called as body jets. So what I was trying to explain over here is, you have an option. See, whatever you are having an option is wall mixer. These are the 3 types, but depending upon your designs, you can have a wide range of pricing for it. But basically, the concept is here. So either nowadays almost wall mixer is absolute. Either you can have a single lever diverter, or you can have a thermostat diverter, especially even the showers and the body jets. So likewise, the other important is your closets. See, earlier days it was Indian closets, then slowly European closets entered Indian homes. So the first one is your Indian closet warrior. The second one is your European closet, and even the third figure is also a European closet. The difference between in European closet is you have different types of European closets. To broadly specify, we call it as floor mounted or wall mounted. So floor mounted European closet is one which sits on the floor. It came earlier. Now the trend is going on the wall mounted commodes, because whenever we had this floor mounted, most of the people will complain that as it sits in the floor and it will be always watery area, the cleaning was an issue. So just to overcome that, you can have a wall mounted closet, which can be seen in the third figure, where your entire commode sits on the supports from the wall. So you'll be having the bolts or stand also, which will be encased in your wall. Then the finishes will be done, so you don't see the stand for your wall mounted. Then we'll fix the wall mounted commode. So the advantage is, as it is free from the floor, the cleaning becomes very easy, and especially the toilets. Basically, whenever you are designing a toilet, we will design the toilets in such a way that you have a wet area and a dry area, and most of your when you have the comfort of going inside a toilet and using the toilet will be very good. See, the wet area means your bathing area, and the dry area means we keep two things. One is your wash basins and your commode in the dry areas. So to keep it clean, using a wall mounted commode is more advisable, as it would be helpful to maintain that dry areas. And especially when we use a wall mounted commode, another important, I think I have not noted over here, another important thing is your cistern. See, in the second figure of European commode, you can see that the floor mounted commode, the backside support is a cistern. Cistern means for flushing your water, you will be having 6 liters, 3 liters or 6 liters of flushing. To fill that flushing water, we call that as a cistern. So in a wall mounted commode, in the third figure, you're not seeing it, but you are seeing a plate over it. That is called as concealed cistern. The wall mounted commode has been encased inside your wall. That's why it is called as concealed cistern. So the trend of today is, earlier you would have seen that around, I think almost around 5 to 8 years back, especially when we're using this European commode, we were having the a button, just like if you just push it, you will get the flushing for your toilet. So that has been replaced by a concealed system nowadays. So just for the interest of the members and the information of the members, not for information of the members, as I was told, even this the word smart has also come and to the closet also. So you will get, if you are willing to spend, you will get a commode where if you just walk in front of it, there is no need to open the cover also. So the cover gets automatically open. So if you have to just go and sit in, and even in a cold weather, if it is very cold, you can set a temperature where the seat cover will maintain that temperature. Likewise, there are so many other things which is available if you want to spend. But see, basically, functionally, that's all. It's always better that we go with advisable to go with a wall mounted, which will help you in maintaining that wet area and dry area concept. And even the cleaning is very easy with respect to your wall mounted commode. Once if you are fancy with the technologies, and if you want to show yourself, I think you can also go with your smart closet. Just to bring what are the different options available for every problems. So I've just taken another example as a drain. Usually drains will be in a square shape or your round shape, as you're seeing in the first figure. But what happens is, see, nowadays I want to use for especially for your bath areas, I want to use the larger tiles where giving a slope in a two different direction is not possible for me. So in that case, you will get a linear drain also. Because what happens is some client was not happy that whenever we take a bath, everything goes in a small this thing and will stay over there. So just to avoid that, you have a linear drain where the water just flows directly into a linear kind, the second figure what you are saying. and from there it is connected to a normal drain which is not visible over here, and the waters will run off. So especially this is useful for whenever the bathing area. This is mainly used for the bathing areas where we need to just give a slope in one direction. The figures what you are seeing is the most of the houses, the common problem is cockroach, and cockroach always comes from the drains. So you have a solution for that also, where there will be around multiple thing which will be in a drain. It is just not the cover. So there the water has to flow between a film where the concrete is not allowed to come through it. So that is called as cockroach trap drain. There are two types. One is your open type and the second one is your pop-up. So this pop-up is whenever you want the water to flow, if you just put a leg, I think the leg mark is over there. So it will open it up and the water flows in. And once the thing is done, you can close it also. So that is called as the cockroach pop-up trap drains. So here I mean to say that you have a solution for each of your problems. Just you need to sit with it. You have to put your requirements. So nowadays the construction technology is such that you have a material for all your requirements. Just you have to clearly tell about what is your requirement is. So you will get a material, construction material for all your requirements. Once again, coming on to your plumbing. So we have just discussed what is inside about your showers or your wall mixers or your closet. Next, coming on to outside is your heat pump. Nowadays, home is just not home. You have lot of mechanical parts which will be coming into it, motorized parts. So just to name a few, here the first figure what you are seeing is your heat pump. So heat pump is one where it has replaced your geysers. It is more efficient than geysers. Rather than giving a geyser, what happens is you have, I think, and just to bring to the notice of the listeners today, see, always it's better if you're going for a geyser, go for 25 liters. Nowadays, people will tell you Insta geyser. There is nothing called Insta geyser. It will not work efficiently. The best thing is have a 25 liter geyser. See, in a 25-liter geyser is, if you want to have a hot water, at least you have to wait for around 10 to 12 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes. So once a person uses it, so once again, there will not be a continuous supply. Just to avoid it, if in a family, everybody has to have a continuous bathing at their different, because nowadays, in any houses, the number of bathrooms exceeds your number of rooms, because every room will have a attached bathroom, plus we will have a general. So that's why I was telling that the number of bathrooms will exceed your number of rooms. So if everybody gets into your bathroom at the same time, probably at the same time, you may have, if you have a heat pump, it will be placed over the terrace, which is much energy efficient compared to your geysers. Much energy efficient compared to gears. You can have your hot water round the clock. Whenever you just walk into your bathroom, 24/7, your heat pump will keep hot water ready for you. And also, I think another thing I've not noted over here is, see, if you just walk into your hotels, any star hotels, you would have seen that once you open your tap, you will get a hot water. But whereas in your house, either you use solar or your heat pump. So you have to wait until your cold water gets out. I think a bucket or two will be wasted. Then only your hot water starts. So rather than wasting your time as well as your precious thing is your water, there is a system called as return line, where we will have a return line where whatever the cold water, whatever the water which was earlier hot, when it comes in pipe and stays over there, due to the atmospheric temperature, it loses and becomes cold water. So there is a system where we will pump this cold water in the pipe back to your tank at the terrace. So which is called as return line. So if you adopt a return line concept in your bathroom plumbing system, so you will get, once you just open the tap, you will get a hot water. So as I was telling, there is a solution for each and every problems. So your problem of wasting the water can be reduced or eliminated, not reduced, can be eliminated by adopting your return line, which is a common factor, which will be commonly it is employed in all hotels. That's why in hotels, when you open a tap, you will get a hot water. So coming on to your second figure, pressure pumps. And once again, even have earlier I have seen in hotels, if you just open take a shower, it would the pressure is so good, so soothing that you love to stand over there. So whereas when you have in the houses, what happens, will be just having a tank and the water flow is by gravity, and the head of the water is height of the from supply to your bathroom tap. Probably it would be around 10 feet or 12 feet for a single floor, or in double floor it would be a double of it. But once it is flow through the gravity, the pressure drops. And another thing is, as I was telling, when two bathrooms are using, for example, if you have a ground floor and the first floor, and if both ground floor and first floor person using that bathroom, and if a ground floor open the taps, the pressure in the first floor drops, because the water directly comes to in a more pressure to the ground floor, and you have a less pressure in your first floor. So this is this was a problem. Just to avoid it, if you can fit a motor between your delivery line, in between your delivery line, and set a temperature, so this will maintain the water pressure in all the lines in equal phase. This is called as pressure pumps. So this is also fitted in the terrace below, in between the delivery line from the overhead tank. So once you have this pressure pump, one thing is you can set what the pressure you want. Either it can be 2.5 or 3.5. That forget about the figures. That is not good technically. So you have the required pressure, and also even the bathrooms, if is using all the floors or even number of bathrooms, the pressure in all the bathrooms will be same. So to ensure that, we'll be using the pressure pump. And once you use the pressure pump, once you use the pressure pump, even the solar has to be pressurized. You need to, because you cannot go for a regular solar and use a pressure pump. So if you are going with the pressure, you can use the pressurized solar heater. And another thing is, whenever you are using your heat pump, you can integrate between your solar and your heat pump. That means that you have a solar in place for the best energy efficiency. We can have solar in place, and the outlet from the solar can be inlet to your heat pump. And the heat pump, because in solar, the heat pump will have a thermostat checking. If the water is hot, it will not get on. Only if the temperature dips, this comes into play and heats your water. So you can integrate it. You can integrate your solar and your heat pump, so you will have a best energy system placed at your home. The most very important thing, waterproofing. See, there are now the material technology is such that you have multiple types of waterproofing. Just to name a few, it is cementitious, liquid waterproofing member, bitumen coating, bitumen membrane, polyurethane, brickbat coba, metal coba, your integral waterproofing, and also and much more. Acrylic based injection, for any problems is there, we do the injection grouting, or it can be your brush band thing. So waterproofing, because I think the person who was staying in Mysuru, Bangalore, witnessed almost a rainy days from almost 45 to 50 days. So now the waterproof problem is very, very prominent, because in a house, see, whatever the looks, I would be telling to my clients and even to my friends that looks is secondary, sir. Whatever looks is there, it is secondary. It is only visible up to your housewarming ceremony. Once you do housewarming and get into your house, your looks becomes secondary. The main primary thing is your functionality. In the functionality, it should be very, very user friendly, and you should not have much maintenance. Especially the main problem in a house is, if you just get a waterproofing problem, it's a multi problems. It not only you will get a seepage over it, over the years the material gets depleted and the building life will get reduced. And also it is very clumsy if you have a leakage problem. Just so the advice is, go for a very technical person who will be doing the waterproofing, and sit with your consultant and ask him what is the best way. Nowadays there are a lot of companies which is offering free technical services also. What kind of waterproofing you have to go, what are the chemicals which are available over there. See, if I just name that the 6 brickbat cover, earlier days we were using the kapi, they were called as kapichur anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. So brickbat cover is you're using your bricks and doing a waterproofing over it. or you can use metal cobas. It's not that metal, because in civil engineering, metal is granite. Granite metal we call, another word is metal. That is your jelly. Using your 20 jelly, we can do waterproofing. Likewise, in that waterproofing, now you can have a brush band over it. Then you have a lot of chemicals which is coming into your concrete to making it watertight. So you have to get a professional help over there, a professional advice, and then go for this work, because this becomes very, very critical. Especially why it becomes critical, it is not only about your terrace. As I told, is now all rooms will have attached bathrooms, and bathrooms comes inside the building. So the two major area is toilets and terraces. And moreover, the more important will be toilet, because regularly we will be using that. So toilets regularly it will be watered, so it has to be watertight. Go for a better method. It depends from case to case. What type of metal you are using over there? What the chemical you have to go? What are the type of waterproofing? Because bitumen coating, for example, bituminous membrane cannot be used for your toilets. It has to be for your terraces, especially. That would be a temporary thing. Earlier, you just cover bitumen, your waterproofing problem is solved. That would be, the lifespan is a little bit less than your Britcap Coba or metal Coba. That's why I told every options has an advantage and disadvantages, and where it has to fit in, because it has lot of parameters to explain it. So sit with your consultant, and you can choose the best waterproofing method you can go into it. So these are the certain things. And as I told, the construction Encyclopedia is just, if you take one thing, you have a multiple options which is available. Sorry, next, coming on to your the other part, railings. So railings, just name it any work, you have an options over there. Earlier days we were doing it wooden. Now the wooden was replaced with mild steel. The mild steel was replaced with your stainless steel. Now you have a glass railing, which is currently running trend. So depending upon the budget, basically, you can, and the looks, you can have different types, because out of this, mild steel will be the cheapest form, where you can have it somewhere between 400 to 500 rupees per RFT, whereas your stainless steel will cost you around 1000 to 1500 rupees per RFT. Your glass will be around 2000 to 2500 per RFT. And wooden depends upon the type of wood. It would be the costliest options out of all these things. So it depends upon the type of finishes you require, and more importantly, the budget, what you can pour into it. You can decide about what kind of material you can go into it. As I was telling in the last talk also, this itself is another encyclopedia. It's a world, it's a different world, the interiors. So I'm just taking one of an example as wardrobes. Earlier days we started with, if you just go around 50-80 years back, all your wardrobes was with a hood, especially teak wood. It was used because at that time wood was not that costlier, and it was abundantly available. Not about the cost, it's availability factory also. Then those wood was replaced by plywoods and laminates. Later onwards, it was replaced by plywood and veneer, where you would get the same. See, laminate is a man-made thing, but veneer is, we take that thin portion around 1 or 2 mm from the natural wood. So if you just do with a veneer, it looks like a wood, and you can go with the polish also. Next, the plywood. Once the machinery came to place, the mechanized thing came to place, the particle board or MDF came, and with that you have got a lot of finishes. As I told, that itself is a much bigger world, because earlier days we were seeing the wardrobe just for 7 feet height, and over 7 feet we are having another door over like that. Why was it was done like that? Was with a plywood we had a limitation of just going to 7 feet or 8 feet height. But now that problem has been rectified. See, nowadays you can get a sliding systems. The last figure you can see over there, sliding systems where the height can be 10 feet or 10 feet. And the sliding system is so good. You can operate not only with one hand, with one finger you can operate your sliding doors. That is the amount of technology which has poured in, and lot of options, especially in a sliding system. If you go, the finishes is almost infinite. Either you can go with the plywood, or you can go with the vinyl, or you can go with the glass. And even in glass, you have much options. You can go with the lacquered finish, or if you like, you can have your photo printed on it, like that. The option is never ending, it is infinite. So especially the wardrobes and the kitchen, the option is much more, especially in the kitchen also. It is not about the finishes which comes in a kitchen, it is also about the hardwares which fits to your requirements. So with this, as I was telling, as you just go on talking, we may have the almost 10 to 15 sessions over it, where if I just explore, if you just explore the wardrobe itself, wardrobe may be having, we can do it in 2 sessions. What are the different types? Kitchen itself is another big engineering. Likewise, that's why we call home sweet home is sweet. Encyclopedia is the options, overall option is in such a way that you have enormous thing. But what I suggest to at this point is there are 2 things. See, what is your functional requirement? What is does that metal will satisfy your functional requirements, then your aesthetic requirements, then you go for it. Because as I was telling, we have seen, because when I have gone to one factory somewhere in Rajasthan, the granite was kept with a zipped transparent cover, and we were not allowed to touch it because that was 10,000 rupees per square feet. So yeah, people who can afford it can afford it, because flooring is basically flooring. Either you do it with your vitrified or your Italian marble. The flooring finishes is same, but it depends on individual perception. Yeah, there will be a little bit of a feeling effect between your vitrified and Italian. I don't deny it, but the looks part, especially look part, it's almost same. So if you can afford it, you can do it, because as I told, the minimum difference between your vitrified and Italian will be 4 times, or it can be 40 times also. So depending upon your, not only with flooring, with all the other materials, as I was telling about your showers or your diverters or your commodes. See, sit with your consultants, look for your budget, look for your even right from planning. My suggestion is look for your functional aspect, then come to your aesthetics, and then see that does it fit your budget. And more importantly, once again I'm telling that, please, whenever you plan initially, sitting with your consultant, just plan for around at least 80% of your capacity. So depend upon how much you can spend. You will be having in your mind a budget, how much you can spend, plan for 80, because in a house, definitely, at least you'll be shooting by 10 to 15%. So with this, I just close it over here and open the floor for discussion. Over to you, Ramachandra. Over to you, Ramachandra.
Dear participants, you have any questions or clarifications, straight away you can unmute yourself and you can ask the speaker. He'll be explaining you in detail.
Thank you, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad. It is a wonderful session, mind-blowing session, because everybody, they don't know depth of it. You have given clarity, because 90% what we are doing, unnecessarily, simply somebody has told, goes on investing. Whether it is worth or not, we don't know. You have explained in very professional and passionately you have shown, and it is a really eye-opener. Thank you so much for giving wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you, Dr. Raghavendra. I think the most important aspect is you have told if we do it professionally, how it can make a difference. Okay, as a professional, you have truly advised how the information, small informations, if the inputs are there, the output will be much better. So a professional input is always required for whether it is a factory or a housing project or anything. Definitely it works wonders in terms of saving money as well as getting the desired result. Thank you very much, Raghavendra. Excellent, excellent.
Thank you, Piyush. See, you will get a correct product, because what happens is when you sit with a professional and discuss, the main advantage is you are using his experience. See, basically the difference between a consultant and a normal person is, see, you would have spent much more time on it, so you can get all his experience in one discussion. So the end product would be better.
Correct. Fantastic. Fantastic session.
So any more questions we can have from any participants? Still the floor is open, so you can interact with the speaker. Just you unmute yourself and start posing your questions.
Raghavendra sir, according to things, whether the people are spending heavy for interiors, whether it is really required?
What, sir? I didn't get your question, please. Can you repeat it?
The people are spending huge in interiors. Whether it is really required?
No, sir. It is about your perception. That's why I told you is, whenever you walk into your, because it is a client's requirement. That's why I told the first thing, know your requirement. If your requirement is to have more aesthetics, that's fine. I don't say nothing is wrong. If you are able to spend, it is absolutely fine. It is your requirement. If your aesthetic is also, see, aesthetic also becomes a very important part. And there are some people who want the but when you're going for interiors, please make sure, sit with a consultant and make sure that the materials what you are using will have a long life. The life of the material, the choice of the material should be good. That's what I would say. But spending much lesser or more doesn't matter, sir. It is up to one's decisions. It is a client decisions, not a consultant decisions. And it doesn't have any.
But some cases, the house builders, they don't know exactly. They will 100% believe architects and builders. They will build according to them requirements. That is also because people normally.
So I would say the client should be, because basically the houses is finished as per the client requirement, not to the consultant. I think in my talk I was telling that. See, the client, you should give a requirement. So if you are a client, you will be giving my requirement and giving what is the idea required. Just we are adding the technical feature to it. But depending, the budget is always in your domain, sir, not in the consultant domain. It is your domain. You have to tell, this is my budget, do whatever you want, then the consultant will do his work. But he cannot tell that you have to spend at least 2 crores for it. It's not like that. It is a requirement and the budget has to be given by the client, not by the consultant. Whatever the consultant will do or architect will do, will take out your idea and try to work out the best model within the budget what you are assigned to it. That is his job. He has to suggest what are the material, different types of materials you are going with the budget what you are specified. Am I clear, sir? Hello, Chandru sir, is it okay? Hello?
So is he has unmuted himself.
Okay.
Okay, sir, it's so clear. But some of the cases, because I observed in top architects, they are not allowing to talk for the customers. No, sir, we know everything. They will. Sometimes I'm seeing so many houses.
But as a client, what I believe is, see, we are as a consultant. I am also being a consultant. I would say that being a consultant, we are there to add the technicality to the ideas what you have given. You have given a budget, you have given your desire. Just we'll try to work out what is the materials which are given to it and design according to it. Sir. That is the job of every consultant. Sir.
But yeah, you are very true. The thing is, the customer has to have a lot of ideas regarding this. something what you have told, the minimum requirements. It is wonderful. Because after this presentation, lot of customer will think, yes, why can't you? Because we don't know now. You are telling the architect will tell you put this. Jacuzzi you put, or you put this. Because they don't know. They have least idea about all these things. But what you pointedly told, everything the customer has to involve and
See,
very,
sir,
very good.
Chandra, see, there are different.
Like this type of presentation has to go more.
See, just to end up the discussion with you, see, the consultant will always try to help you out in the feasibility of the ideas what you have given, sir. See, in one of the cases, the client was very adamant that he has to go for a steamer attack, because you will get a mini steamer, just like a jacuzzi. A bathing enclosure is there where you will get a steamer. You can have a steam bath for it. But I told him that these are the things which doesn't fit into it. See, as a consultant, whatever the idea client gives, we just work out the technical feasibility and tell you that which is feasible, which is good for you, and which is bad for you, sir. And there are some expenses. So as a consultant, just to sum it up, as a consultant, that is our job, just to tell you which is feasible or not, sir. Technically and
thank you, sir. Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Thank you. Great job.
So if there are any more questions, or else we move on. Shashank.
Thank you for the wonderful and informative session. Now I request Dr. Ramachandra CG, the Managing Trustee of SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA, to summarize today's webinar.
So really it's a eye-opener or more informative session, in fact, because it's like a guideline. So everyone should have this guideline before planning for an to construction home. This is what, so he himself is a encyclopedia. So vast, with this 20 plus years, vast experience today. So he has given to us. So first of all, let me thank Dr. Raghavendra Prasad M D for giving such a wonderful presentation, that informative presentation which is required for the day. So, and coming to the summarization, so yes, given, as I told, a step-by-step information, okay, how we need to start this construction work. So in the first, the step he has told how many people, so we have to identify at the beginning. It might be architect, engineer, or structural engineer, or electrical, or plumber, including your HVAC consultant, landscaping the consultant, or interior designer, and Vastu, if you are interested for Vastu consultant, many more. These people we have to finalize first. That is what he told. The second step he told, so first we, before going for any construction, we should know our requirement first. What and all we require in our the plot which we are planning for the construction, and we have to decide based on our budget. Okay, so at the beginning itself he told, so your 70 to 80% of your budget only you plan, because always there will be 15 to 20%. The plus only you will get you will end up with that. So that is also he has given some tips, and we need to identify one architect or engineer to complete our work. And he is also told, so we should visualize our the imagination on paper. Okay, so the fine tuning of your and even he told, rather than going for multiple plans, you go for one particular plan, and there itself some fine tuning, that would be a better option, he told. And also, so as per the zonal authority regulations, we should go for the planning, especially. And then only we can finalize the plan, along with the bill of materials is also important. That is what he has quoted. And then, so based on these things, he told, finally you ask for what is the costing part. So for my requirement, so definitely, okay, these technical knowledge, whatever he has given, so it's full. And coming to the materials, he told, so for each and every material, he can take one session. That's what he told. So starting from a base building, so most of us, we are not knowing most of these things like to masonry building. He has told around 6 to 7 is stone, bricks, soil bricks, okay, and laterite. So these things, based on our choice, so we can go for this. That is what is told. And even RC frame building, the steel building, okay, depending on our requirement, we can think of it. And especially the flooring, the inside knowledge he has given. So normally we know, generally we know vitrified and even granite we know. So there are a lot more based on our budget, lot more the options were available. So depending upon cost and including laying the information charges also he has mentioned. And especially even electrical works, always we think of the switches and wires. So beyond that, lot many things he has given, like it might be a manual or automated switches and wires, which type of wires we use, and what are the safety features we require. And UPS, and whether we require online or offline, lot of information he has given. And even plumbing and sanitary work also he has given a lot of insight, the information, especially for bath, the wall mixture or the single livered water we require. So this is also based on our requirement, and including the cost details also he has discussed with us. And closets also, like earlier we were using Indian, nowadays European or Western we use. So apart from that, he has told us wall mounted and even smart the closets were also available. So this is extra information, that is what we have heard from him. And including drains. So normally we use round drains at home. So he has given some more information like linear and even cockroach trap drains were also available. So definitely it's so we should think on these aspects also. And the plumbing miscellaneous, so we were not aware, only we think of the solar water heater or our regular geysers. So he has given more information about the heat pump and as well as pressure pump. So these things. And one more, the important information he quoted in that. So other than your the appearance or the your outside we call it as elevation, rather than giving importance for that, you give much importance for your waterproofing. So especially for toilet and terrace, that is very, very important aspect. And what are all the options that are available for this waterproofing also clearly as mentioned. And even and railings, there's so many options he has put forth in front of us. So like wooden, mild steel, stainless steel railings, as well as glass the railings. Here also cost wise also he has explained us, so we can think of as per our the budget and all. And wardrobe, including your kitchen, uh, the, the entire setup he has clearly told. Okay, it's an infinite options we're going to get for this, including your whether you are going for plywood, particle board, or which type of the other material that you're going to use. So the infinite options is in front of us. So and at the end, so he has concluded thing. So whatever these things he has discussed, he has told at the end. So these things mainly, okay, depends on our requirement as well as functionality. Based on that only you decide these things. So this is what the information he has given. Really, it's in the eye opener, or I can say the most the encyclopedia knowledge he has given to us. So definitely, okay. So all the participants will got the benefit from this. The webinar, the purpose which has which this the webinar has been organized. I hope it is fulfilled. Once again, I thank the speaker, Dr. Raghavendra MD, I thank all the participants also for participating in today's webinar. Once again, I thank everyone. So over to you, Shashank.
Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the essence of humanity. I thank Dr. Raghavendra Prasad M D, Managing Director, BHAMYS Group of Companies, Mysuru, for accepting our request to be the resource person of today's webinar and also for delivering a very informative session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I thank Dr. Ramachandra CG, the Managing Trustee, SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA, Mysuru, and officials from BHAMYS Foundation for their involvement in organizing this webinar. I also thank Shri Lokesh CG, President, Dr. Shantaraj Aras, and Srimati Bhagya Gopal, Board of Trustees, SANATHANA SAMPRATHISHTANA for their support extended in organizing this webinar. Finally, I thank all the participants for your support and active participation in this webinar. Thank you, one and all.